Hello. Welcome back. We have a special guest today. This is Tyra. Thank you all for coming out to the Women's Wrong Support Group meeting.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. Such a fun discussion. Yeah, and so we'll have another live show next month on July 30th. It will be for This Delicious Death by...
I wrote the book.
No, I was gonna put the book cover right here between us. So today we're going to be giving you women's wrongs recommendation. Like, these books, these women are up to something, and do we support it?
Yes.
Like, go off queen, like those kind of vibes. You know
like
what I'm
the
saying?
good for her.
Good for her, exactly that. So some of these books I haven't read yet, and I'm gonna tell you those ones when I get the chance.
The stack of what has read and isn't read is like that different.
Well, first of all, I want to start off with a book that we read for our in-person book club that I have not been able to stop thinking about ever since we've read it. All's Well by Mona Awad. Okay.
This is the best book I've read this year.
Dare I say me as well. So in this book, Miranda is a professor of she's like a drama professor, and she has chronic pain. That's a major part. Last time I talked about this book, I didn't mention that she was suffering with chronic pain. I didn't really tell you guys what this book was about last time. She is wanting to put on the play All's Well by William Shakespeare, obviously Shakespeare girly, and her students want to put on Macbeth, and so she's like, no, we're gonna be doing All's Well. And so yeah, so she's also suffering with her chronic pain, and so one night she goes to a bar, drinks this drink. She's starting to feel a little bit better, and then it's also written in that Mona Awad trippy style that we know and we love and we support.
Yes, but down the rabbit hole, she starts to spiral. The writing gets more chaotic. She's not making good decisions. She's not right in the head. And that is all that we want from our women.
Period.
So my sister, the serial killer, I seen this book in a little bookshop down just randomly when I was at the beach, and I fell in love with the cover. Look at that.
Period.
So we already know from the title that these people are up to no good.
Can we give a moment for the glasses?
Yes.
Because I didn't really notice that at first. Stabbing hand.
Yes.
Sorry.
Like the details of this cover, the scarf, the glasses, the you know, and the screen. So we already know. And one thing that's really important to me is I like to read books not based in America. And this one takes place in Africa. It's been a few years since I've read it, so forgive me, but I think Nigeria. And her sister been killing people. Is basically the title says it all.
Dare I say a serial killer?
Yes.
Watch out, Cheerios.
Yes, and what does she do? Does she turn her sister in? No.
We can never do that.
We never do that. So this is just all about that dynamic. It's a very quick read. Women be serial killers too. But when women do it, it's fun. So
for legal reasons, this is a joke.
So, you know, we have a lot of inclusion in new settings because it doesn't take place in America, and characters that we don't see a lot that get to have that rage and that vengeful moments, because we don't really get to see women of color do that in books and movies as much. So that's really cool. It's really recommend it.
Yeah, I did read that one as well. I don't really remember like everything that happened. So up next is The Merciless. Did you finish this book? The Merciless by Danielle Vega.
Yeah, I read the first one.
So
and the second one.
First of all, this book is wild. Okay, it says Mean Girls with an occult twist. I would say yes. They think their friend is possessed. So in this fever dream type of way, they keep trying to have an exorcism to this girl. And things go way out of hand. And it's just them up to no good. Like, this girl is not possessed by a demon. Or is she? and her friends are trying to have an exorcism for her safety. Or is it for her safety? And it's just it's crazy. It gets way out of hand, and it's a fun time. I believe it is YA, but there's this one scene that literally scared the crap out of me, and I was like, ew, disgusting. That's literally my fear.
Look how cute the cover is too.
Yes,
I love that it's
cute.
like giving witchy Barbie.
Yes, witchy Barbie, bring it to the premiere. And then I did read the second book in the series. I don't own the second book because I couldn't find it when I bought these. Have not read these two yet, but I will tell you what the second one is about. The second one is about the main girl goes to Catholic school because people think that she's possessed still.
You need the Lord.
And so she's trying to like cleanse herself of whatever demon that she has. Her friend, also named Brooklyn, disgusting. Not the name's not disgusting. Disgusting is the character. She's evil, not in a good way. That's up for you to decide. I don't know. And so I don't know why I'm holding this book. That's not the book I'm talking about. So she is like, is Brooklyn alive? Like, what's going on with that girl? So there's so much exorcism talk in the second one as well. I ended up rating that one 2 stars. I rated this one 3 stars just because the way it was written. I believe this is the Wattpad series. If that says
recommending the
anything.
2 and 3 star series.
It's women's wrongs though. And then this is number 3. Not sure. It says Origins of Evil, so I'm assuming this is a backstory of everything. Even though I did rate it 2 and 3 stars, the whole thing was crazy, and I would like to have a ride.
I guess like if you've been down that Wattpad, that fan fiction type journey, you know the writing style you're expecting. You're just there for the drama.
Exactly that.
So go into it that way. Like, we're just here for the drama.
This is the last book, book 4, which side-eyeing my dog right now. I'm not sure what this is about at all, but it's book 4. Girl.
Let's talk about the original. The Good for Her, The Woman's Rage. I don't know if I would say women's wrongs, you know? Like, I support every single thing she's done in this book. Like, this is a queen right here.
Yeah, Carrie didn't do anything wrong in my opinion.
So this is probably one of the only Stephen King. This is one of 2 Stephen King books I would recommend. Because, like, you know, you guys know the classic story of Carrie. And if you are a horror fan, whether it be movies or books, like, so much comes from this. The covered in blood scenes, the vengeful, like, prom queen type, like, this started it all. Like, this is just the OG. Like, if you are into women's wrongs, this is it. Or women's rage. I feel like this is more women's rage. Because she right. If you've ever been bullied, she right.
Sorry. I would also recommend, which we don't have a copy with us right now, I would also recommend The Weight of Blood if you're looking for Carrie, but more updated version of Carrie. It takes place in 2014. So it's not quite in the now, but it's more recent than Carrie.
Yes. And Stephen King can be controversial in some of the things that he writes about, and I haven't read The Weight of the Blood yet, but I know it's more inclusion because the lead character is biracial, and the author, I believe, is Black, so, you know, we're not getting the slurs, or at least we're not getting the slurs for no reason if they're in there. Right.
Next book I would like to recommend is a duology. It's Malice and Misrule. I'm gonna go over these quickly because every video these girls come up. Maleficent villain origin story. Maleficent doing women's wrongs. Okay, so if you're into retellings of fairy tales, especially the villain origin story. So it's not a spoiler that she's a villain because literally Maleficent, you know who Maleficent is. Right.
Okay. So we're gonna
obviously.
Yes, Gillian Flynn. First of all, we don't have Gone Girl here, so
let's pretend.
Before we can talk about this one, let's talk about Gone Girl because, like, my favorite chick flick, you know.
Just a silly, goofy, girly time.
Yeah. Like, that's women's wrongs. There's
like,
not
that's the definition. Like, that's
there's-
the blueprint.
there is not a single thing that that woman does in the book or the movie that you will agree with. But it's so fun to watch and read. I will say, of all of the books to movie adaptations I have seen and read, that one's very close. I watched the movie first, and then when I read the book, I was like, oh, this is exactly the same. Except for I can picture Ben Affleck as the guy we hate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have that, like, what's going on? There's a mystery. You gotta read
Yeah.
Gone Girl if you haven't, or watch the movie, or both.
Yeah, the way I should have read Gone Girl before watching the
Me
movie,
too.
because I read Gone Girl, or I was reading Gone Girl, right? And then 50% of the way in, I was like, you know what, this is exactly like the movie. So I said, close the book, go on Goodreads, rate it 5 stars, and never open the book ever again.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's exactly like the
I
movie.
DNF'd it and gave it 5 stars.
But if you guys don't agree with that, put it in the comments.
Put it in the
Yeah,
comments.
because it has been years since I've read the book and watched the movie. But then Sharp Objects, which is also adapted into a miniseries
Amy
on
Adams, we love this.
HBO, and I do recommend reading and watching that. This trigger warning. I'm gonna give a heavy. You know what? There's probably trigger warnings for Gone Girl, but I don't remember.
Heavy trigger warnings for
this
Gone
one-
Girl, to be honest.
This one, when it comes to like family trauma,
Yeah.
self-harm, all that, that's gonna be a trigger warning for this. But if you're okay with getting through that, this book is wild.
Literally wild.
Wild. I don't know that the main character is wrong so much as she is traumatized,
Right.
but I don't know that there's
Miss
any
Camille.
good people in this novel.
Yeah. Camille,
Everyone
she...
kind of is bad for different reasons, and you do get to explore those reasons. And it is a heavy topic. Let me tell you what it's actually about.
Go off.
Okay, so she is a journalist, and she has to go back to her small town that she hasn't been to in years because a string of young girls are missing, or are they found dead? You gotta read to find out.
Because we don't remember.
Because I don't remember. And so she's trying to write about this tragedy that took place, while also navigating being back in her home life in her hometown. And this is a weird little town. I love a weird little town.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. If you're like a weird little town, all the people are weird, and something's going on, this is the book for you.
I also have another villain origin story. It's called Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is Alice in Wonderland, Queen of Hearts, villain origin story. This is YA. Catherine is a baker. She loves to bake. She wants to be a baker, whatever. Her parents... her parents want her to be more than she wants to be. Like, something like that. I don't remember. It was like 2 years ago when I read this. But somehow they want her to, like, marry a prince or the king or something so she can become queen. I don't really remember. And then some stuff goes on. She gets heartbroken, becomes the Queen of Hearts. And, like, a lot of people say that all actions in this book leading up to the end doesn't make sense for her to, like, snap at the end and completely change. I disagree, because I feel like there was, like, a lot of build up to, like, standards, like the standards that they have for this girl when literally all she wanted to do is bake and live her best life. And then for her to fall in love for the first time and then get her heart broken, like, I get it. So I feel
So
like
she has
Alice,
that snap moment.
exactly, yeah. And then it's very iconic with the up with her head. It's very iconic behavior.
That cover.
Yes, very nice. I got this at the library sale, so I didn't get the dust jacket that it comes with, but this is still pretty.
Stephen King again. This is also a movie, and I think they just did another movie. I haven't seen either movie, so we're not going to talk about those. But Firestarter. This was recommended to me by a close friend who's also in our book club.
Yeah. Perhaps May?
It was absolutely May. Who else? And this, I'm going to be honest with you, I read this so many years ago and I loved it. And I do know in the original movie, it's a little Drew Barrymore who plays this child. So that's who I pictured in all of this. I'm gonna read the description for this one. You are about to meet the sweetest, most irresistible little girl you've ever known. 8 years old. Huh?
So why is she irresistible?
Stephen King is weird. She is everything that a proud father like Andy McGee could want, and all that he can fear. For Charlie was born with the most destructive power a human being has ever commanded, and somewhat she must be saved from herself and those in high places. So, spoiler alert, she can start fires. Oh, there's this kind of, to me, a thriller type conspiracy theory because there's government involvement. There's people trying to find them and get them because of how she got these powers and the backstory of all that. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get spoilers. So I like that aspect a lot. And you already know, if she could start fires, it's going to be emotion based. And when that happens, you get that rage. She is only 8 years old, but I don't think she does anything wrong. She's just a scared little child. But you do get that rage. And she's really cool. I love this little child, this little superpower child. And I think you would too. I would not say she is irresistible because that is weird. And if you watch the movies and you like them,
let us know in the comments. Next, we're just going to talk about this man. Stephen King. These are the books that I have not read. Okay, this is Misery. Okay, hello, Kathy Bates Slay. Kathy Bates is in the movie. And so I have not read this yet, obviously. I just said that. So there's a writer. His name is Paul, I think. He is like a writer, whatever. He wants to finish up his ongoing, I think it's like a romance series. I don't really know. But he crashes his car. He gets taken in by this lady. Her name is Annie. Misery is the character's name that he's writing about. And Annie takes him in. That's Kathy Bates. Takes him into her house. And then does not let this man leave. She's like, give me updated Misery. Like, write me some Misery or whatever. And so then he just doesn't leave for some reason. Did Annie do anything wrong? I don't know.
It sounds like she did, but we support her.
I mean, all she wants is happiness for her favorite character. Like, we can all relate.
That's true. Them fandoms.
She will be heavy on Tumblr.
Did you watch Swarm? That's a fandom show based on Beyonce's Beehive. And the main character really wants to see this Beyonce-based character so much that basically for some reason she starts killing people. So she's a serial killer trying to get to this concert. That is some women's wrongs. It's called Swarm. It's on Amazon Prime. Sponsor us. And it's produced by Donald Glover.
The next book I'm going to talk about is one that I have only read 100 pages of, but I would love to read it. I talk about this one all the time as well, for me not reading it. Plain Bad Heroines. In 1902, these girls become obsessed with each other. Death happens and crime happens in like 1902. It's now 100 years later, I think. And so 100 years later, a group of famous actresses who are like, I think they're teenagers, go film a movie about the crime that happened in 1902.
Ooh, very meta. It's giving Scream.
Yeah. I wonder...
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it's Scream 3, where they do the behind-the-scenes of movie and stuff.
Let us know, May.
Oh, and it's also giving series of unfortunate events with the writing style with Lemony Snicket. So they go, and then some stuff starts happening. I didn't get that far into the book to know what started happening, but I just know that.
I kind of want to read this book right now. Heroines. This is a good sell.
That's what I'm telling you. Even though it is 640 pages, you get... Like, there's mixed media in it. Look, there's pictures. You saw that? Pictures.
We love a blank page.
A poem. We do love a blank page. I know that's right. And then
so it's very
a script. Oh, wait. A script. It's not like... It's giving what House of Leaves wanted to give. This one, the last one that we're going to talk about, is called Undead Girl Gang. Teenage Wiccan, Mila Flores, her best friend dies, and it's under suspicious circumstances, and Mila is like, let me go investigate. Mila refuses to believe that her best friend was involved with a suicide pact, because she's like, that girl would not do that.
That is intense.
And so she tries to bring them, the group of people who died, back to life, so she can, like, know what was going on here. Hence, Undead Girl Gang. You know what? I should read this for October.
This, on the back, there's like little blurbs, and one of them says this is like a Buffy the Vampire episode, and I feel like that's all you need to know.
It's giving comedy. It's giving, I just realized, like, after I read the synopsis, the zombie hand and then the...
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Excited to read that too. I am going to mention Cackle, because it's not a Brooklyn's Library book without me trying to get you guys to read this dang book. Yeah, so Annie is just going through a breakup, and she moves to a small town, and while she's going to get some wine, because she needs a little wine time after her breakup, in the small town she meets Sophie, and Sophie is the town witch. Like, everyone basically bows down to Sophie because they're scared of her, and so... like, Sophie, like, gifts her some wine or something at the wine shop, and then Sophie's like, I see some potential in you, Miss Ma'am. And then, so, they just started hanging out, and Annie is coming into her, like, witchiness. And is this wrongs? Is this women's wrongs? You can tell me after you read it. Because
is it gay?
That's what's wrong about this book, is that nobody is gay. It is very much gay.
It's giving subtext. It's giving early 2000s.
It's giving the
supernatural.
It's giving. I don't think that
Sherlock.
the author meant to make this book as gay as she did. That's it. Thanks for coming. Thank you for joining my book club, Fable, Women's Wrong Support Group. The next support group meeting will be on July 30th, as we mentioned. The link for Fable, sign up, is for free, is down below. If you want to join us and read about join us. They should leave the fire emoji for Miss Drew Barrymore over there. So leave the fire emoji if you made it this far, if you fast forwarded to the end, whatever, just to let me know that you guys were here up until this point. Fire emoji.
Yes. And go out and support some women's wrongs.
I will talk to you guys next time. Oh, sorry, that was right over your face.
No, it's fine.